hi to everyone. So it's great to be here. I think we now in this round we sort of the wild dog. So we are a young, very young company which is going to introduce a new technology today. Bitplaces. So we are actually a spin-off of the Technical University in Berlin. So also a Berlin-based company. And we're providing, enabling platform to connect a mobile service with a location. And talking about this, it means having as a key service the targeted messaging for customers on the one hand side, and on the other side having detailed customer analytics. So we do this proactive and introducing in this way a new way actually to interacting with your app users by getting them at your location. So you can actually choose your own location to target your customers. And the customer does not even have to open the app at this moment to get an interaction with them. And you can measure this real time. So that's the reason why we call it mobile performance marketing, because you get an instant feedback actually how many of your customers you can reach and how many of your customers respond actually to your message. So Bitplaces solution is a software as a service solution. It just needs to be or can be integrated in any iOS or Android app, and then you actually can start with it. It's not a big deal actually to start using it. So and jumping into what we do. So we just introduced our solution this summer of this year. So as I said, so we are a very young company, but we already started to do business with publishers and telcos and starting to interact with the first retail customers. And what you see actually here is our real-time map of check-ins of customers who are using our piece of software in their apps. And as you see, this is for Germany. We can reach any location in Germany because people are moving around with our technology. Important is after we heard these great talks from Google and other companies, we do a few things very differently. So actually the data we are getting from our customers are anonymized. So we don't know actually who it is, and we don't need to know at this moment. And we comply to the German data privacy rules. In that sense, that we have it much easier to get a customer involved, because you just need to ask them, are you willing actually to allow us to use your location, and then actually you can start interacting with them. But this means that we transfer what you know from your web world by learning about your customers when they're anonymized using a website, in the same sense by location, because you learn about your customers through the check-ins actually they do on their locations, or location actually you have set up. And then actually you learn about the right locations. Where can you reach most of your customers? Where can you, at what time are most of your customers at certain location? And you can start segmentation your customers by the locations. And we will step into this within the next slides. So what I said at the beginning, so we are integrated in customer apps. And this means actually most of our customers does not have apps which have a high distribution. And at the end, what you need is to get many customers or to target many of your customers. And that's what we provide, is to build an ecosystem. This means the customers, our customers, who are using our piece of software in their apps, they can connect each other. This means if you have certain apps which have a high reachability, this means actually you can allow a customer with a not high distributed app to connect with the other app and to target customers on your location with your messages via a different app. So this means at that moment you're in a sort of a network ecosystem which allows you to expand your own reachability via different app. Maybe just take an example. You are in Germany, like AutoScout is an app which has 10 million downloads. And just imagine if you have content which might be interested to these customers of AutoScout. So then you could be enabled actually to reach these people. It's important to understand that everything what's happened is proactive. So as I said that if once our technology is installed in the app, it just needs to be opened once, and it's initialized, and then actually it can be in the background. So this means the customer does not need to open up the app actually to see what's around. It's rather he gets targeted out of the background. And this means actually for our customers who have apps, and you have multiple apps on your smartphone, that you get a higher interaction with your app at the end. Because quite often, if it's reactive, if you need to use an app reactive, it means a customer needs to be willing to choose your app and to find a certain to find something. But actually, if you can do it proactive, your app suddenly can says, hey, here I am, I have an interesting offer for you, I have an interesting announcement for you. And then actually you can open up the app and actually see the content. So it's a different approach actually to interact with your end customers. So, and what you receive instantly then with this is the customer analytics on the location you choose yourself. And we will see this later on in a few slides. So as I said at the beginning, Bitplaces is an enabling platform to connect a mobile service with a location. It does not need to stop actually on the messaging part. It means actually you can add further services like a payment service, like a feedback service, like your couponing services, and what Bitplaces enables is to aggregate these different services at a certain location, and we will see this at a few use cases on the next slides. So after having understood what it means proactively targeting your customers at their locations, then it's pretty easy for our customers that they choose certain locations nearby, for example, their point of sales, and can actually set their messages based on the behavior of their potential customers. This means you're having and we call these this geofences Bitplaces. Sorry, I introduced this at the beginning. The location tagging you do is a geofence you can set at any place worldwide. There is no restriction. We call this a Bitplace, and then actually you can set a message, and you can define actually how you want to send out this message to the customers. This means, is it something, do you want to send a message when the customer first enters this Bitplace, or if he stays there for 5 minutes? And actually what we can measure, for example, if you have dwell time messages, they have a much higher recognition of customers than if you are just sending a message at a certain location. You already have a doubled click-through rate if you target your customers location-based, but even if you do it via dwell time, so then the likelihood that somebody has a smartphone in his hand and is seeing actually the message you are sending at this moment is even much higher. So this means with the Bitplaces platform, you can choose the place with a few clicks in a few seconds. And then actually you can add your messaging to this and target a person with any kind of messages you think your customer is going to be interested in. So, and this means this can then be a QR code you're going to provide with this to make it easier to measure actually the customer journey that the customer reached at a certain point, a message, and that he actually went then to the point of sales and even then maybe purchased something. That's something, again, it's something we are going to measure to make the customer, to fulfill the customer journey, to see actually if the message not just has been read, rather that he has ended up in the point of sales and paid for it. But talking about this, I mean, we're talking since 10 years about this, that you're going to reach a customer nearby, for example, your cafe. So this is, from the use cases, it's pretty boring. Today, it's very easy to set this up, and and you just need 5 clicks to do this. But at the end, what is the vision actually of many of our customers? What they want to do is they want to aggregate these kind of different services. And take the example that you're walking by a cafe and you get a coupon. The cafe said if you just come in, you get your favorite coffee £1 less, whatever. So that's something you can set up with Bitplaces straight away. But then the idea is the customer is going to open up the app and he sees, okay, I just received a coupon for my favorite coffee. And usually the app just of the customer just shows the different sorts of the coffee offers. And what you can do then is actually you choose your favorite coffee, you choose your coupon, and then actually this cafe might actually have its own payment service from PayPal or Click and Buy or any other who's in the market. And this could be, again, this could be enabled with this location, which means actually that you are able then to pay at this location with a payment service, and the fourth service is going to generate then number 37 has just paid his cafe latte, and indoor in the cafe an end device receives the message that number 37 has paid a coffee. And then you're just walking in with your smartphone and show your smartphone and you're picking up your coffee. So this means the idea behind aggregating services at a certain location is to fulfill the process for the customer very easy and to bring him actually to purchase something, to walk in and to get what he wants. So, but as I said, just targeting somebody close to your point of sale is pretty boring. So at the end, the idea behind Bitplaces and using locations is to get an understanding about the segments you're going to target, and that's something what you again very quickly can do. If you, for example, have a certain offering for students, so then you can tag any university in your country very easily, and you just send a message to these people when they're staying, for example, 4 hours in this Bitplace. So then the likelihood that these people are students is pretty high. So and then you can analyze immediately actually how much of your messages has been, how many of your messages has been read, and then actually you can count, you can measure of the students who received this message actually left this marketing Bitplace, as we call it, from the university and went to your point of sales. So at the end, you can easily get a feedback actually of your message has been recognized and has been pointed your customers to the to your point of sales. And that's actually what you learn with Bitplaces. As I said, anonymized. It's a geo-cookie, as we call it. You're starting collecting data in the background about your customers, as you know it actually from the web world. By learning actually at what kind of locations is this geo-cookie usually visiting. And if he's quite often at the university, you might actually know this is going to be a student. If he's going to be in a football stadium, you might think it's a male. And you can actually start learning about this geo-cookie, and you can actually improve the targeted marketing to these customers by using these kind of information and introducing sort of a different way in getting a marketing to your customers. But additionally, actually, the Bitplaces platform provides you many different kind of functionalities, starting with that you're just sending messages at certain times, at certain days, that you're sending a message to someone who has who needs to be visited a different Bitplace before that he received this message. Taking this example again with a student, if you have sent a message to a student and he's going to come to your point of sale, you can actually you can welcome him and say, hey, it's great, student, that you're going that you made it, and that's a special offer we have for you. And the person actually who comes from the train station gets a different message because you know that he has been at the train station before, and somebody who's just walking straight to your point of sales again gets a third message. And important here is to understand, and which I didn't say clearly enough at the beginning, that we are not tracking the customers continuously. This means, so you really have to choose the Bitplaces and marketing Bitplaces where you want to target your customers. And as soon as the device is going to leave this Bitplace, the customer is in the darkness. So you don't see him anymore. So and he is not continuously tracked. And that's actually why we say that we comply to the German privacy rules. We do not want to know at any time where a customer is. It is rather important actually to track him when he is entering a Bitplace and getting this meta information about this Bitplace and to learn actually what kind of customer he is. So this means so you can choose any place, and you see even in real time how many people are at this place, and sending these people messages. These messages are usually collected then in its own inbox, which means if you decide not to send a push notification to someone, if you do not want to disturb someone and get into an immediate interaction, what you can do is then actually to send customers a location-based background message, which is just collected by the app, which means you're walking through your area in your city and you're just collecting the latest information about different point of sales, for example. And when you're sitting then on the sofa in the evening, you can get a push notification, for example, at 8 o'clock, when the likelihood again is the highest that someone has a smartphone in his hand and is going to read this information. So that's what you can set up instantly and reach your customers. The next thing is then actually to get your customers loyal. It's not just targeting customers and trying to direct them actually to your point of sales to make new business with customers. On the other side is actually how can you actually measure that certain customers are going to come back very often to you. With Bitplaces you can do it. You recognize that somebody has come back the 5th time, the 100th times, and you can actually react on this again. So you can send him a different notification, and then actually you can, when he is leaving your point of sales, you can offer him a survey. So in asking how did you like actually your shopping experience, getting again immediate interaction with your customers, and further information actually how he liked the shopping experience. And by getting these kind of information, you can actually set up its own customer channel, which means actually getting more and more information about your customers, even that he put it up himself in a profile of the app, or actually by learning, by visiting these different Bitplaces. You can even start getting a much higher or better targeted of your customers, because the interest of your customers are actually set up in a channel, and he receives just the information which are actually based on this channel. So the next thing, which we already explained a little bit, is that by learning about certain locations which are important for you to reach your people, for example, the Museum of Modern Art in New York. If people visiting this museum very often, he might be an interesting customer for you. So you measure actually that he has been there, and actually you address him with an individual message, and actually you're targeting to your point of sale, and actually you see actually if at the end if he ended up at your point of sales. So, and by having explained actually how you can target your customers to get an instant information about your location and how actually your customers reading your messages, you can use our customer analytics, and we compare it actually with what you know from the web analytics. So that what you know actually out of the web world, where you see actually how many people have seen your web page, how long have they been on the web page. It's the same actually what you get with the information with our analytics. So you see instantly how many users have been the first time here, how many of them has been coming back, how long did they stay there, how many messages has been sent, how many of them has been read. So you see the click-through rate instantly, and you see actually which marketing bid places. So the brown one are the marketing bid places work best actually to drive people to your point of sales. And then actually you can jump into your own bid place you have set up, for example, about your on top of your point of sales, and you see then the same information just for this bid place. So you can see the information I just explained, and you see actually how many users are at this place at this moment, which means actually if you have certain offerings for at a certain time, and you see there are, for example, 22 people in your little shop right now, you can actually address them with a message just into this bid place, and tell those people, hey, I have a certain special offer for you. Why don't you take this? So this means you get actually with the Bitplaces analytics, you get very high detailed visitor analytics about dwell times, direction, about your campaigns, how their campaigns works, and actually what kind of devices on apps these customers are using. So and what's going to be next? As I said, so we are a young company. We are just launched our product, and I said but that we're already in the market with publisher, telcos, and the first retailers who are starting to using our products. The next thing is then certainly by targeting people outside based on the bid places, going to target people inside. So what you want to know then is not just that you reached somebody at the Museum of Modern Art. Then you also want to see that he maybe went to your shop, and then even if it's a bigger shop, what kind of floor the customer entered, and get maybe an interaction indoor based with your customers, and that's what we're going to provide on a Bluetooth solution then beginning of next year, and you get then the same analytics and possibilities to interact with your customers. And it's again, it's very easy to set this up since you just jump into your cart map and actually set up your the locations where you want to target your customers. So looking on the product we provide, it's a white labeling solution. As I said at the beginning, you can integrate into any Android and iOS app, and as I said as well, which allows you to build an ecosystem, a partner ecosystem, to build reachability by by getting actually into apps which have a high distribution, and to allow then actually even large retailer, which usually have just apps with a few thousand downloads of the app, they need actually the extension of these of partner apps with a high distribution, and that's what we allow to build with our white labeling solution. And you get then the location management, so that you can choose the location worldwide. There's no restriction to set up the locations where you want to target your customers, setting up the messages to reach your customers, and add then actually third-party services. As I said, the idea is to not just send a message out to someone and getting his attraction, rather providing different services to aggregate different services at a certain location. And I'm going to explain this in a second a little bit more. Then you get the location analytics and certainly the APIs, so that you can interact with even with your own, maybe with your own backend systems, so that you do not need to use our front-end system, rather getting the information directly out of your backend system, and you can even use it completely white-labeled with the platform. That's actually what we see what the telcos does. They're going to start using these technologies to integrate it into their apps and building their own advertisement marketplace about this. So what they want to do is actually they want to resell locations, and that's, for example, another opportunity or opportunity to use our technology by just managing this completely yourself. If you own the apps and if you own the locations, then you're getting actually very close to the bidding for certain locations by choosing locations where you see that many customers are walking through, and then actually you can sell it actually to small shops or larger shops which are close by, and allow them actually to target these customers based actually on their payment. So the customers who are willing actually to pay more have the opportunity to target these people. So that's another approach actually how the technology is going to be used, and another part with the third-party services is that you can use it completely without the messaging. This means other customers are just thinking about optimizing their own processes. Think about an airline and think about the situation they usually have if somebody has just checked in via his mobile app. The airline does not know if this person is going to attend next time or next morning at the airport. By using this kind of technology, which allows you to check you in the background at the airport, gives the airline the information that somebody who has checked in for a certain flight a night before, that he is going to attend next morning at the airport, and that's going to speed up their process again. So what they want to know is that the 20% of business people that usually are too late are going to be close to the airport when they want to start boarding. That would help them already a lot. So that's what you easily then can set up with this platform as well, and that's what's certainly then up to our customers and their use cases, how they want to use it. So to summarize, and I think I've been very quick, so maybe it leaves more time for questions. Bitplaces allow you to get detailed custom analytics about any kind of location you can set up. So information about how many people are going to be there first time or coming back, and about their dwell times. You can easily build on this information very individual targeted marketing campaigns based on the different option to target somebody when he enters a place, when he left, when he's going to leave a place, when he stays there for a while, or even based on time, on their way actually to the Bitplace. So you get the opportunity to start your own customer segmentation. It's then up to you actually to get the understanding where your potential customers are, and actually you can segment them on their location. Maybe another example, if you tag cinemas and you a reseller of DVDs, so the likelihood that you target somebody who has been in the cinema the night before, that he is going to be interested in your offer is much higher than if you just broadcast maybe a message to someone. You get an outdoor and an indoor component, so that you even measure the complete customer journey from the first message he received actually to the journey into the point of sales. And the system is multi-tenant, which means actually for our large retail customers, they have the interest actually to allow their branches to get their own access actually to the system. This means so you can define a certain radius where a branch is going to be allowed actually to target certain customers. For you, just maybe say you're allowed in a radius of 10 kilometers to target your customers, your end customers, not to interact with the other branches of the company. So then you can set this up with our solution and get very high local offerings to your customers. And last but not least, and I said this already a few times, you get the ecosystem. So you get the potential to get a high the potential to spread your messages via other apps. You can click-based then actually combine for your places and messages. And that's Bitplaces, and yeah, I'm open for questions if you have any.